Hey guys, this is Brian with Turp Mechanic Brand. Today I am doing the next step to installing my new Irrigreen sprinkler system. I'm going to start on the front yard, eventually work my way to the back. I want to give you guys an update on how this process is going. I put a video up on the vlogs channel about a week, maybe 10 days ago. I want you to understand that the vast majority of my viewers, my regular viewers here in this channel, are not going to put this system in, and I'm not really going to recommend that you do it unless you're doing a significant overhaul to your irrigation system, or maybe considering putting the first one into your lawn ever, because no matter what anyone tells you, no matter what Irrigreen tells you, this is going to be more intrusive and hard than you're led to believe. It's doable. This is a DIY project, but so far I don't have any Irrigreen sprinkler heads installed in my lawn yet, and I've also had a plumber over to help me. Doing this project is worth it because I am uncovering problems underground that I didn't know were there. So if you have pipes underground, if you have old in-ground sprinklers put underground, it's probably worth digging them up, and doing a project like this can probably push you to find those problems that exist so that you can fix them. But let me show you some of the issues that I'm dealing with right now. So this is our main water line. It comes in out of the ground. It comes up, here's a valve, it goes into the house. Now, let me flash back to about 10 days ago, and I'll show you what it looked like before. So right here is the garage behind the wall. Way down deep, that's the main water line coming up. It goes to this first connection. Water goes this way into the front irrigation valves, the front yard and the parkway strip irrigation valves. And then the water also goes up through this shutoff valve into the house for general household use and for this spigot. So this shutoff valve cuts off the water to inside the house. I can turn it and there's no water inside the house. But the front irrigation line is not cut off when I turn that, which means that if a pipe bursts underground over there, water will just flow. There's no way for me to turn it off. Now these first two, these front yard and parkway strip irrigation valves, each have their own dedicated line, PVC lines. We got the lower one, the one sitting on top. They kind of go next to each other, and they also track this white one. And notice the white one comes out, so this is also not shut off by the main shutoff valve, but it comes this way, and we've got, looks like an ancient shutoff valve here, and then they patched in this this shutoff valve. So this white pipe goes all the way around to about there, then it turns the corner, and it goes to the back corner of the house for rear of the house irrigation and an exterior spigot, like not off of the house spigot. All right, having seen what it looked like before, you now see that we have two valves here. So this is the original valve that shut water off to the house. Now before, I did not have a main shutoff valve to everything out in the yard or the irrigation system. I did have a small valve here that was just kind of like a plastic PVC valve that would shut off water to part of my lawn, so the backyard area. But if a pipe had burst in my front yard, there would have been no way to have shut it off without going to the water main over at the street. Of course, if you shut the water off at the street, then you don't have anything to the house. And I don't know, it's a little bit more tricky going to the street because you're dealing with water valves that are owned by the city. So this is basically what the plumber did for me, is he took out the mess that was here and put in new, nice, durable valves. So now I can turn off water to the house or the yard independently. No matter what's going on in the yard, I can turn everything off all at once. And we got rid of the mess that was above the ground for all of the sprinkler valves, and we shrunk it down into a single pipe that comes underneath the sidewalk, and now we're going to have a nice underground system. So all of this is new. These are plastic orbits. It's nothing fancy. We did take the third orbit valve off, and I have a little stub here. And so I'm going to use a normal irrigation system going out to the lawn, just like you would normally do with these two. So that's going to be done by a Hunter control box. And then this third one, this is what's going to go out to the Irrigreen. So I haven't trenched that in yet. When you go digging, you're going to find things that you didn't know happened. So right here, when I turn on my regular irrigation through the Hunter, my regular sprinklers go off. There's no leaks or anything here, but water starts pooling in this trench that I dug out. I never would have dug this trench out if I wasn't putting in new lines or fixing the valve box situation. When I turn this on, water starts pooling there, which tells me that there is some form of a leak. There is something going on underground right there. So the old sprinkler lines go under there. There's probably a leak. So once my old sprinkler valve turns on and it starts pressurizing to set the sprinkler off, something's leaking. So what I'm going to have to do is dig out this whole area and find where the leak is. If I was only putting the Irrigreen system in, then I would just remove the whole thing and take my new Irrigreen line out. But because I'm a weird YouTube creator, I want both systems in place, working properly and independently, so that I can literally show the difference periodically, test the difference between the two different watering systems periodically over the coming seasons for the benefit of my viewers here on the channel. So there might be videos about that, there might not be. There's definitely going to be some footage that I'll throw into videos throughout the future. But I wanted to show you this. So currently I don't have the lines hooked up. I could turn them on and off very easily just by, here, watch. Let me just turn this valve on. Now watch. So there's the sprinkler, pops up. Now as time goes by, I'm not going to sit here for 20 minutes. But as time goes by, water starts seeping through from underneath this this in-ground curb here, the pool in that area. I'm going to go ahead and turn this off because I have to dig here. I don't want to dig in mud. All right, with the water off, now I have to go and reattach my old Hunter sprinkler cables to this. Now I have old cables running through this pipe underground. But the thing is, the valves used to be over there, which means that my old cables aren't long enough. They were hooked up here. So to get these wires to go that way, I have to either swap the wire out or splice new wire into it, or what I'm doing is moving. I'm just full on moving my box. So it's a mess right now, but the box used to be right there. So I'm going to move it way over here against the wall close to the garage door. That way I can snake the wire through the wall. You see the wire? It goes through the wall, comes out to the outside, and then it goes underground and goes back over there. So I'm snaking the wire through the wall to give me more slack, so that I can then push it through here and reconnect it. That way I can finally put all of my dirt back in place. Now, it's not that big of a deal. Digging stuff out is a challenge, and doing all of this work is like important, busy work, but it needs to be done. So I'm gonna get that done. None of this used to be here, so I have to remember not to plant anything with substantial root systems in this area. Also, it is nice to know where pipes and things like that are underground for the future of planting purposes and digging purposes. So at least we know that. And I still don't know the exact layout of my pipes around, my existing pipes around the main yard. I'm going to find that. I'm going to find that out pretty soon while I start the trenching process. So this wire right, or this tube right here, this irrigation pipe right here, we're going to continue that on under the curb. It's going to go straight out to the middle for our first Irrigreen head. It's the only one that we need for the entire area. There's something like 10 heads right here right now controlled by my Hunter box. With Irrigreen, I only need one right in the middle. And then from there, I'm gonna pipe that way. We're gonna go under the driveway. I've got to have a contractor help me do that because it's such a long span. Like I might be able to do something like this on my own. It would be annoying, but I probably could. But for the driveway itself, I need special tools and special help. So we're gonna go there to head number 2. Now, before I continue on, well, head number 2, we're gonna then take the wire, continue daisy chaining it around to the back of the house. With Irrigreen, you're basically going 1, 2, 3, 4, however many zones you have, they all just go in order. So you have to have a clear path. So that also means that I'm going to have to do some trenching over here to trench the PVC and the wire, the valve wire. So this stuff right here, there is no valve box. You notice for the Irrigreen system, we're not going to have a valve box right here. That's because the wire has to go out there to the head. The valve is in the sprinkler head itself. Look how big this thing is. This right here is an Irrigreen head. Like if you're looking down on the ground, it just looks like a big head. But if you really look at it, it is monstrous. It is gigantic. Look at this compared to a normal sprinkler head. Look at that. Gigantic. The valve is in here. So you can see the wire comes up and we have to connect in. And then there's an out to go on to the next sprinkler zone. So I'll have to trench out there and then all the way around. But for my regular normal sprinkler zone setup with my Hunter control box, water comes. I've got 2 valves to go out to the front yard and the parkway strip, and then the pipe keeps on going. Now the pipe is going to come this way. It still does. I'll have to trench this out maybe to replace the pipe or check for any other leaks. Comes over here, it elbows, and it goes that way into this side under my mess. Now I'm going to show you this mess right here. This is the old sprinkler valve setup that was in the house. There was a ton of leaks right here. So as a homeowner trying to do this DIY, I would have had to completely revamp this whole thing myself. And though I know a lot about grass, I am not a plumber. I am not a pipeman. Pipeman, is that a thing? I don't do pipes when it's important. Now I have set up PVC systems in garden beds, and it looks great, it works pretty good, but there's always been some wonkiness to them and some leaks. My plumber who helped me out front also took that out and replaced everything with some new valves, which I need to run wire to, connect those to the Hunter box. But he fixed leaks here. You can see underground, like the piping is not straight, which puts strain on various joints. So he fixed it so that there's no strain on the joints, even though the pipe is not in line or straight. This is an option for me to dig this out and replace the pipe, because you're also going to find things like this. So this is quality PVC with thick walls. This old stuff is not. Look at this. These are the old pipes that we cut out. The wall is simply thin. It's a very thin wall. This stuff is far more likely to crack, break, just because of the elements, just being underground for a long time or being out in the sunlight. And if you hit it with a shovel or something, it is far more likely to get damaged to the point where it needs to be repaired. And you can see that's what's happened over the years. So as you start digging stuff out, you're going to find the pipes underground probably should be replaced. So at some point here, I'm probably going to have to dig this out. And, well, I don't have to, but I probably will be tempted to and will dig this out and replace this pipe with better PVC so that I don't get a leak here in the future. I've experienced leaks in PVC underground before at my old property. They are not fun at all. because of this overhaul, we now have modern, they're not like high-end, but they're modern orbit sprinkler valves up here. We've got them above ground so that we can access them and replace them and tweak them, do whatever we want to them. If I wanted to put them underground, we probably could, but we've got a shutoff valve for just the back, and then we've got another stub here if I wanted to do Irrigreen in this direction or set up a manual control box for a garden system. So this is pretty cool. So now we have multiple shutoff valves everywhere. While we're at it, we took a copper pipe up, and now we can have hose access here, manually controlled, so long as the whole thing is pressurized with water. Pretty cool stuff. Point here is, if you're thinking about putting an Irrigreen system in or doing any sort of irrigation system overhaul to your lawn, putting even a basic irrigation system in for the first time, don't expect it to be simple, fast, or easy. It might be, it definitely might be. But don't expect it to be. And expect it to, I don't know, reveal problems that you didn't know existed, which is probably a good thing because you can fix those problems before emergency situations arise. But it also gives you the advantage of being able to optimize a system. Like once you have to do some fixes and repairs, you're going to find that you can do those fixes and repairs and then upgrade your situation with minimal effort, since you've already done, let's call it the fixed cost of all of the digging and exploration. Anyway, I'm going to leave some links to Irrigreen down in the description below. I've got some other Irrigreen videos that I've put out. None of these things are sales pitch videos, so if you want to learn a little bit more about them, make sure to watch videos linked up here in this corner, and questions and things related to this down in the description below. You don't need Irrigreen by any means. This is definitely, for me, this is exploration of options. Genuinely curious about how this stuff works and if it is beneficial for lawn owners, homeowners, people who care about using less water but also having nice lawns.